The issue is who's going to operate the store. Who's going to come in every morning, unlock the door, open it up, and what we're saying is that as we continue and have continued over this stretch of time, along with the city, gone to the market and asked grocery operators, open a store in Highland Square, open a store in Highland Square, the consistent response has been either flat out, no, we're not interested in that demographic, that's not going to suit our model of store, or it has been, there's been some level of discussion, and eventually the grocery operator has decided that there's a better opportunity somewhere else. I mean, right now, the market especially, there's opportunities everywhere if you're going to make an investment. If you have the capital to move in, there's opportunities, but where to do that is based on the market and the risks associated, and the grocers consistently are saying, Highland Square, the risks are higher than they are elsewhere, and so they're going elsewhere.
See, that's so why they're saying, that's not telling me the layperson why, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they're saying that.
Why are they hiring? Isn't this one of the busiest intersections in most cities?
Well,
that corner right there is one of the...
Yeah.
So why are they hired?
Well, there's the parking issue, there's the location of stores. Acme is right down the street, West Point Market is down the street, Dave's is the other way. So there are some market indicators, some factors. The fact that people seem to be shopping does not indicate a huge basket size. Many of these operators are looking for that space in a cornfield, a big box store, square, parking in the front. Let's do it if that's what they want. And Highland Square is not that, and everybody recognizes that, so we have to be more creative in our solution. Now, there are hands that have been up forever, so go ahead.
Just to, I guess, kind of play devil's advocate, what I'm hearing consistently is that, you know, let's just accept that possibly they're telling the truth, okay? And possibly nobody wants to put in a grocery store here. Maybe that's just the truth. And I hear everybody's anger, and I hear what everybody's saying about not believing what they're being told and having different stories, but at some point it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter anymore what did or didn't happen 6 months ago or 12 months ago or 3 years ago. You have to move on. It doesn't matter. I mean, we could sit here for the next week and talk about what did or didn't happen and what somebody did or didn't say. And I'm utterly sympathetic to that. Utterly sympathetic to that. But what I'm hearing you guys say is that we gotta figure something out. We've gotta figure something out. Giant Eagle's not gonna come in here. Aldi's isn't gonna come in here. Whole Foods isn't going to come in here. It's not gonna happen. I heard enthusiasm from you guys about the co-op idea. So instead of talking anymore about what did or didn't happen, let's
take proposals on the co-op idea.
Let's
we submit the proposals to you. Who do we submit proposals to?
Well, there might be. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. If there are enough people, you know, if there are people interested, maybe it would be a good idea for people to talk after the meeting. This is a great time. It seems like there's at least a couple of people in here who are wanting to talk about that. And Albrecht Incorporated, Joe has been, I mean, he will meet with you and talk about it. Email him, call him. If you can't get to him, email me, call me. Talk to us after the meeting. Yeah, any of us will
facilitate it. We'll get it moving in the right direction. We'll hook, you know, people up that need to have meetings, discuss the, you know, so we can just get things going and see what's viable. Absolutely, we're looking for solutions. You know, we're presenting with this problem and we're really looking for solutions. And so, you know, I think that there's people. I think you haven't spoken yet, right? You had your arm for a long time.
And I want to just say what you're saying, which is that I feel really bad for all the anger and mistrust there is, and I'm the first one to be hating on the capitalists, okay? Like, it seems a little disjuncture here that people want to make all that responsible for everything. Okay, if the anger should go towards what you have on the website, which is let's get them kicked out of their contract, let's get them kicked out of their space. Use that for your anger, right? But let's take them at their word that they want a grocery store. If we want to, you know, if you want the anger to go somewhere, move them out of there. But what about the space at Five Corners? I mean, as much as we need to get out of our cars, we need to get out of our gentrified neighborhood sometimes too. And that used to be a grocery store in the 70s. That's a huge box of a place over by the YWCA and the post office. The YWCA is not there anymore, right? There's a giant parking lot there. Okay, and I'm sure, I'm positive, because I know a lot of you, I'm not the only dreamer in the room. There's a bunch of us who already do buying clubs and co-ops. So if we could continue to get together and talk about what works, maybe we could have both, right? A co-op here in a small space in Highland Square, and a huge grocery store over in a box place that may not be to our aesthetic, right? But may help give real solutions to the poor people who I keep hearing like some word about, but they're not represented here, and the old people, right? Because they can get to there. We can walk there too. I mean, it's not like we can stop at the coffee shop on the way because it's not in exactly the same spot, but that would leave, right, something else to go in at the triangle spot. I mean, I think the anger probably would be better served if people really want to get back at Albrecht, right, to go after that contract and how they've not made the contract. Because, again, why are people really pissed off at Philip and Margaret that they're not opening a store here? Because we seem to think that's reasonable for them to say, we don't find that to be a viable financial solution, right? That seems to make sense to all of us. But on the other hand, we want to keep just being mad at Albrecht. Let's kick them off their contract, right, if we really think they've, and that's a separate issue, right, than the grocery store.
Right. Totally separate issue.
But it's a
For the record, I'm not mad at Albrecht. I'm distrustful, given past experience.
Okay.
But I'm not.
In the hat, you had your hand up, and then
I'd like to know why, when I first moved to Akron, West Point, everybody's still where they are, and the Sparkle Market was here. Why wasn't the store built first? Because a lot of communities will build a grocery store that is the center of the neighborhood and build around it. They actually did it in days. Why wasn't the store built first? So the Chipotle and the change and all that. Why wasn't there a store considered with everything else?
Well, I mean, I'll answer part of it. I'm sure there'll be more input. There's no operator. You know, until you have an
Why do you
operator,
have-
it's difficult.
why do you have to have an operator?
It is part of the question, I think, too. I mean, because of the way, the nature of a grocery store, it requires different things for different operators, and so until you knew what operator was coming in there, it wouldn't really be beneficial to anyone to just build a box and hope that someone would come in and use it. Maybe am I misstating that, or do you have more?
That's one component to the answer, but the other component is, initially, we were going to build the grocery building first.
Why wasn't it built?
Because the Sparkle Market went out of business. So
Yes,
the
but you
idea
still have a
was,
space without Chipotle and all the junky crap that's here. I mean, to me it is. To me, I just don't understand why the store could have been first and everything else could have come.
well, we were going to build the original plan before the Sparkle Market went out of business. We were going to build the grocery store on the corner and then relocate the Sparkle Market into that store, demolish the existing Star Market building, and then move forward with that component of the project. That's how it was initially scheduled from a construction standpoint. But when Star Market went out of business, that was no longer because we didn't have that operator. And I think it's important to get input from the operator as to the layout, both interior and exterior, and the specific footprint, dock locations, entrance, exit, before you go ahead and build. Because it's a very specific, tenant-specific building. So that's why we didn't build the grocery building first.